Adolf Hitler, Kim Jong-un, Omar Gaddafi, and Saddam Hussein. These are names that are able to send shivers down anyone's spine due to the dreadful dictatorship as a ruler. In fact, calling these guys as a ruler is no different than calling a bloodlusted tiger a kitty, because the oppressive ruling, which causes millions of deaths, makes the phrase tyrant fits them even more. Now, what is the enabler of the rise to power? The glimpse on past history has shown that they managed to become the most powerful person in the country just by defeating their opponent. In the case of Saddam Hussein, he managed to become a tyrant just by murdering those who dare to cross his path. This is when one's power is absolute because of the lack of check and balance system in one's country. So today, I and MOHAMAD RAHIMI RAZALI will discuss on the implementation of check and balance, the efficiency of royal institution, the benefits of the system, and its drawbacks in Malaysia. What is check and balance system? It is basically a system that allows each branch of government to amend, override, or veto acts as to prevent any branch from exerting too much power and overpowering other branches. In other words, this system helps in keeping one's power at bay, thus preventing the rise of yet another dictator. It keeps the administration of our country efficient. In Malaysia, the separation of power in the government is divided into three branches, which is the executives, the legislatives, and the judiciary. At the top of the government is the royal, which is the pillar for check and balances in our country. No organization is over the royal in any ways. Every political affairs must go through the validation of Yang di-Pertuan Agong or YDPA. The Prime Minister may be the one who is the chief of the country's administration, but YDPA is the supreme head of federal constitution because he is the one who checks every political affair in our country and balances the power of the organizations. This system is mainly beneficial for our country's sovereignty. One might wonder, what makes this system ultimately important in our administration? This system puts everyone in the rightful place and makes sure that no one is overstepping their boundaries. By that, the different branches are able to work together without any issues and keep the country's management in good hands. Besides, the system lessens the YDPA's responsibilities too. When each branch is given their own portfolio, the royal wouldn't have to take care of everything. This helps the royal to focus on other important things such as the well-being of nations. Furthermore, they can also focus on the religion of Islam and the Malay customs as stated in the constitution. The other importance is that it can improve our country's economy. By having an efficient, organized, and stable administration, outsiders will feel more confident to trade on a business in our country. This will directly enrich the economic sources, thus improving our country's financial situation, and more developments are able to be done for Malaysia. The efficiency of this royal institution in our country's system is evident after the resignation of the 7th Prime Minister, which is Dr. Mahathir bin Mohamad. The YDPA has appointed Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, MP, the MP of Pago, as the 8th Prime Minister after interviewing all the individual MPs and political leaders and after having a special consultation and meeting with the Conference of Rulers. Another example is when the YDPA cleverly tackles the political crisis during the 15th GE, general election. The easy majority of 112 chairs needed to form a government was not obtained by any parties, which caused an issue known as hung parliament. This is where the royal plays a huge part in which the YDPA exercises his discretionary power to appoint a prime minister. His Majesty is free to choose any of the candidate from Dewan Rakyat based on several aspects. This action shows that YDPA does not act on a whim, but according to provisions under Article 42 that allows him to exercise his power when the situation is of hung parliament or a loss of majority confidence due to death, defection, disqualification, or resignation of member of parliaments. Unfortunately, there are views that still doubt against the royal institution as the pillar for the system. The royal institution, being at the top of the government hierarchy, is seen as a slicker way of tyranny. In this case, it can be refuted by understanding the non-discretionary power of the YDPA. Even if the royal is at the top, they are not in control of everything, as their power is mainly revolved in the religion of Islam and custom of Malays only. As control of everything, as their power is mainly revolved in the religion of Islam and custom of Malays. As stipulated clearly in the Article 41 and 41A, the YDPA must act in accordance with the advice of the appointed PM and the Cabinet. This explains that the royal institution is more like a manager in our country. Wherever there are any issues or plans the government is planning on doing, they must first present the idea to YDPA to get its approval. If the YDPA does not approve the idea that is beneficial and is agreed by everyone, then it depends on the Prime Minister to continue or discard of the idea. In essence, the royal institution plays a significant role in our country's check and balance system. They are the father of our country's administration and management. Their overlook of our well-being managed to create a safe and sovereign country, not only for the local, but also for outsiders, especially for the investors and traders, which will boost our country's economy too. Without the royal institution as the pillar of check and balance system, this system would probably not work out, or might work, but not as efficient and smooth as under the control of the YDPA. There should no longer exist debate over whether or not the royal institution is important in our check and balance system. That's all from me. I am RAHIMI. Thank you for listening.